Hello and welcome, my name is Jax, and this is the League of Legends Race Guide. Even though the races of Valorant are vast and varied, I've organized them and cataloged them in a way that makes sense. So let's just get right into it then. First off we have Aatrox, a Darkin, an ancient race of demon-like people. Just for the sake of keeping things organized, I'm just going to classify him as an ancient. Ahri's origins are pretty different. She was a fox that got transformed partially into a human. She needs to suck the essence out of people in order to complete her transformation. And here with Akali we have our first boring old human. Alistar is a minotaur, nothing too complex here. Amumu is the first of a very populous race on Valorant called a Yordle, though technically he could be classified as an undead as well. Anivia is a cryophoenix, and for the sake of keeping things organized, I'm just going to classify her as an ancient. Although many assume Annie to be some kind of demon, she is in fact just a regular human. Ashe is a regular human as well, that just has an enchanted crystal bow. I'm putting Blitzcrank into a category called construct, because he was created by people. The shell of Brand was originally human, although he was possessed by what I'm going to classify as an ancient. Caitlyn is a regular old human. Cassiopeia was originally human before she was transformed into the serpent hybrid that she is now. Cho'Gath is a creature from the Void, in a category I've called Void Creature. Like Amumu, Corki is also a Yordle, though unlike Amumu, he hasn't died yet. Darius, like so many others, is a boring old human. Next up we have Diana, who is also a human, and Draven, who is also a human. Even though Dr. Mundo is technically a mutant, he started out and is also technically a human. Elise started out as a human, but through some magical transformation ended up being the spider hybrid she is. While the lore introduces some intentional ambiguity with Evelyn's backstory, it's pretty likely that she's a human, either possibly vampiric or cursed by something. Ezreal is another boring old human. Fiddlesticks is the first weird one that I had some trouble with. While I've classified him as an extraplanar being based on his lore, he seems like a Shadow Isle specter to me, another category. Fiora, sexy as she is just a regular human. While we know from the lore that Fizz is the last of his kind, he's obviously some kind of merfolk, a fishman. Galio, like Blitzcrank, is another construct. Gangplank is a human, Garen is a human, Gragas is a human, and Graves is a human. Hecarim is a specter from the Shadow Isles. Heimerdinger is another Yordle, and Aurelia is another human. Janna was originally human until she was magically transformed into an elven-like creature. Jarvan is a human. Jace is another boring old human. Jinx is human. Karma is human. And Karthus is a lich, formerly a human. Kassadin was originally a human before he was magically transformed into the partial void being that he is now. Katarina is human. While Kayle appears to be a human with wings, she is in fact an angel, an extraplanar being. Kennen is a Yordle. Kha'Zix, like Cho'Gath, is a void creature. Kog'Maw is also a void creature. LeBlanc is a human, as is Lee Sin and Leona. Lysandra is a frozen watcher, another one I'm going to classify as an ancient. Lucian is a human, though notably he's the only black human in the League of Legends. Lulu. What the? No. Lulu is a Yordle. Lux is a human, and a very pretty one at that. Malphite's title actually describes his race. He is a part of a greater whole known as the Monolith, so he is the shard of the Monolith. But basically that lands him in the category of extraplanar. Malzahar is a human, although he, like Kassadin, is corrupted by the Void. Maokai is a bit of an odd duck. His lore lists him as a treant, but originally he was just a tree. He was given life by the Shadow Isle specterism that seems to be plaguing that area. Master Yi is a human. Miss Sarah Fortune is also a human. Mordekaiser is another specter from the Shadow Isles. Morgana is the same race of angel that Kale is, her sister in fact. However, she is a fallen angel, so that puts her in the category of extraplanar as well. Nami is a Mirai, a merfolk, similar to, but not the same race as, Fizz's race. Nasus is an extraplanar being. Nautilus was originally a human before he became fused to his diving suit. Nidalee is human as well, although she was magically transformed into a hybrid cougar being. Nocturne is another one of those champions that's lore introduces intentional ambiguity. Nobody knows exactly where he came from, though it's pretty clear that he's a nightmare brought to life, either possibly from a world of dreams where there might be others like him, or just sprung between dreams and magic, making him the only one of his kind. Nunu is a human, although he rides atop a yeti. Olaf is a human. Oriana is another construct. Pantheon is a human. Poppy is a yordle. Quinn is a human. Rammus is an armadillo that was accidentally magically made sapient. Renekton is Nasus's brother, meaning that he is also an extraplanar being. Rengar is an inexplicably out-of-place lion person. Though his lore mentions that there are others like him and that he's part of a race, they don't bother to name the race or give you any reason as to why they exist. Though she may hop around like a bunny, Riven is in fact just a human. Rumble is another yordle. Rise is a human, though he has such magical power he doesn't look it. Sejuani is a human. Even though Shaco is described as the demon jester, it's very likely that he's just a person who's gone insane. Shen is a human. Shyvana is a half-breed between a dragon and a human, meaning that somewhere out there, someone had sex with a dragon. Singed is a human. Scion was originally a human until he was killed and then reanimated, so he's also an undead. Sivir is a human. Though it might be easy to classify Skarner as an arachnid, he is in fact a Bracken, another race that I'm going to classify as an ancient. Sona is a human. Soraka was a celestial who was made mortal, so she's basically a human. Swain is a human, but unlike many other people who are magically transformed, he can control his transformation. Syndra is a human. Talon is a human, and Tarek is a human as well. Teemo, come on man. Teemo is a yordle. Thresh is another Shadow Isle specter, though he was probably human at one point. Although I could have mentioned this with any of the previously mentioned blue-skinned female yordles, they used to be a different race called the Meglings, until Riot decided to change the lore because it was stupid to have an entire race of tiny blue women. Trundle is a troll. Tryndamere is a human. Twisted Fate is a human. And Twitch is a rat, magically made sapient, similar to how Rammus was magically made sapient. Udyr is a human, although the spirits that he possesses means that you could technically classify him as an ancient. Much like Scion, Urgot was a human up until he died, upon which he was reanimated and is now undead. Varus is a human, although magically corrupted. Vayne is a human, and I'd like to take this opportunity to point out how much better the Chinese art is than the American art most of the time. Vygar is a yordle. Vel'Koz is a void creature. Vi is a human. Victor is a cyborg, a blend between a human and a construct. Vladimir started out as a human and was magically transformed into a blood mage. He was also possessed by his former master, possibly meaning that he could also be classified as an ancient. Volibear is an Urzine, a race of bear people. Warwick was a human, magically transformed into a werewolf. Wukong is a monkey, magically made sapient by the runestone that he was born from. Xerath and Ryze are both very similar in that they started as human and ended up beings of magic. Xin Zhao is a human. Yasuo is also a human. Yorick was once a human until he died, and then was resurrected as an undead, possibly considered a Shadow Isle specter. Zack is a construct, albeit an amorphous one. In fact, that's what the A in his name means, amorphous. Zed is a human. Ziggs is a yordle. And Zillion is a human, although he suffers from chronodysplasia. And finally we come to Zyra, an ancient, a plant that was dying and made herself a human-shaped vessel in order for her to survive. But wait a minute, I missed one, didn't I? Oh, of course, the strongest of all of the champions of League of Legends, Jax. I left him out intentionally to highlight just how mysterious this guy actually is. So what race is he? His body is completely shrouded except for his hands, on which there are 3 purple fingers. Is he a void creature? Is he a human that got transformed like so many others? Is he a monkey? Is he a rat? Is he a Shadow Isle specter? Is he an ancient? It's possibly an ancient. His lore makes him out to be the greatest fighter ever seen by the League of Legends, and everything about him is completely mysterious except for the fact that he owns everyone, is one of the coolest characters ever created in anything, and he shares my name. Now I have some theories about where his design actually comes from, so hear me out, because this might be a bit of a stretch for some people, but other people might go, oh, I get it. So let's start with his weapon, an unconventional brass lamp. He doesn't wield it like a sword, he doesn't wield it like a club, or a spear, or any of those kinds of things. In fact, he wields it like a bow staff. Bow staff, I guess I'll just keep that in the back of my mind for a couple minutes. He has 3 fingers on each hand, much like a Ninja Turtle. And he's purple. The purple Ninja Turtle uses a bow staff. He's Donatello! The purple masked, 3-fingered, bow staff wielding Ninja Turtle. Jax is a Ninja Turtle. And if you look at all of his skins and all of his artwork and stuff, he always has a big cape on his back. Probably to hide that shell. His recommended pair of boots is even the Ninja Tabi. How many more signals could they be sending? Now I know that they probably didn't intentionally design Jax to be a Ninja Turtle, because nobody's that cool to think to do that. So, in the end, I would still like to know what species, race, gender even, Jax is. So if you happen to know the answer, please let me know. Thanks for watching. My name is Jax, and I will talk to you later.